Yeah, last night we hung out for it was me and Moshe and Shaido from Far Rockaway. Nobody else was there. It was freezing. We sat outside. Shaido's like cigar heater. But we were supposed to go to
What I said to
trust it. Because the weather, that would be great.
Although you're still here for a little while, we should wrap this one.
Okay, let's do it. Let's do it.
Chabura.
Yeah, let's do it. Let's do it. Okay. Monday, whatever. Sure.
Okay, so let's test on the tracks.
Okay, I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna do that. Okay.
No problem.
I'll be on camera.
Okay.
that's okay. He took the time.
Oh, I heard you hung out with Moshe. I went home, I went to bed. You guys are hanging out, having a good time.
I was there when you first
I didn't get the good part.
You know, you believe me, trust me. I just told you, I'm sitting outside trying to one like restaurant heater, you had some, but they only give up heat from the, if you're 6 feet, holding the hands up.
Tell me, we're sitting outside. I wasn't that tempted.
It's so cold. Which was fun. My toes, I don't feel my toes. This is enjoyable. So, and then there was an adventure driving far on when it snows.
Yeah, sure.
First of all, there's cars double parked, no matter what. Cars double parked. There are 4 cars going this way, 5 cars going this way, and the snowplow hitting the one.
Please take your seat, okay? Please take your seat.
So Ziva yesterday.
Did you? She told me there was some like pedophile looking guy that was. That was Eitan Megamzo I was talking about.
Andy spoke about you in Shabbos, right? Maybe the Shalom Nation in Chayazi. So he did a Shalom Zaka, so I went. And Shiva was Raz, and a bunch of Penny Saron, and what's his name? Shmuel. So I don't know, one of the newer guys there, he's probably been in Shiva for 7 or 8 years. You know Shoyaji? I was like, yeah, I heard about it. You know, we were shooting one thing, I wasn't getting a hug on this, and I'm like, yeah, I was there that day also. Like, whatever, that's funny. Like, that's someone, he's like, where do you hang out? Or something like that. So Roz was like, what are you doing? I know you. I'm in Asia a lot. Like, you know, guys are there, right? I'm like, yeah, we're just reminiscing.
I almost got up.
Thanking Nachmani in the Mishpacha, Yosef HaTzadik, Avinoam, Zech Nishmas, his father, Avinoam and Chaim, Shom Shavnali, and Shom Simcha, and the Panosim of the month, Sulan Rav Weinberg and Josh and Melissa Weinberg, the Ilui Nishmas, Naftali Ben Sui, is the Shom Shavnali, and all family Shom Simcha, Nachas and Bracha.
Amen.
Okay, let's finish this Maimer. We're not going to do the last part of it. The last part is very Chanukah-dik. Not that there's anything with Chanukah any time of the year, but it's already year of Tu B'Shvat. We're on page Ayin Aleph in this Maimer from the present Shalom Rebbe. He's always on saying Darchei Noam, where it says Lahadlik es Eish HaKedusha. Lahadlik es Eish HaKedusha. Talk about Eliyahu Novi. This time, I mentioned the other day that the time Chlal of Shovavim, these weeks of Shovavim, Ubefrat, Tu B'Shvat is a very strong hashpah to daven for this inyan of Kedushas HaBris. And what we've been learning in this Maimer is that in order for a person to be able to feel that he has a chelik b'lokei Yisrael, that kel chai, chelkeinu, sureinu, to feel a hergish of kedusha in all of Yiddishkeit. The shorish of being able to feel that is being a person who's working on this mitzvah of kedusha sebris, of Yosef HaTzadik. And when that's missing from a person's life, which is exactly what the Yevonim understood, that when that's missing from a person's life, when it's missing from Am Yisrael's life, then it's impossible to feel that fire of Shabbos, of learning. Just, there are moments here and there, but to sustain a healthy fire in Havodas Hashem without Yisod, without Yosef HaTzadik, it's not Shabbos. The Atzmas Yosef have to go with us everywhere. So, let's just finish. Kechol Ha'inyin at the end of page Ayin Aleph, if you have it on your phone. Kechol Ha'inyin Hazeh Matzinu Gam B'mei Eliyahu Novi. What happened by Eliyahu Novi? Shekibet says Kol Yisrael al Har Carmel. Eliyahu Novi gathered together Am Yisrael by Har Carmel. V'amlahem, and the famous sentence, the famous words of Eliyahu Novi, Ad Moshe atem paischem al shtei hasidim. How long are you going to go on, going back and forth, the two sides of the door, shtei hasidim, from these two thresholds, these two openings? How long are you going to go on like this, back and forth? Im Hashem l'kim l'chu achrav. From Habal, l'chu achrav. If Hashem is Hashem, if you believe in Hashem, l'chu achrav, then give yourselves completely over to Hashem. Completely. Be real Jews. If, on the other hand, that's not your thing, and you don't believe in Hashem, but rather you believe in Baal, you believe in that Avodah Zarah, which is very, very, very strong at that time. That Avodah Zarah was very strong. If you believe in Baal, then l'chu achrav. Now, let's make a decision. Make a decision. What is it that you believe in? And if whatever it is that you believe in, put yourself completely in that emunah. That's what the Navi is saying. He said it then, he's saying it to us now also. Im Hashem, if Hashem will akim l'chu achrav. L'chu achrav. Ad sheyor de'esh min hashamayim. So there was an ace, of course. What happened was that the fire came down from Shamayim, Mizbeach, that he set up. And the ace came down from Shamayim. V'omo kolam, Hashem will akim. Hashem will akim. It made it a lot easier to make a decision when the fire came down from Shamayim. But we shouldn't take it lightly because we don't understand what the Nisayon was of Baal. We don't understand what that taiva was of Baal. Today's the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
So you know, like if it's a tie, I don't even know who's playing. I don't know who's playing in it. I'll tell you the truth. I stopped at like by Dodd Maynard and George Sauer, Joe Namath. It's a long time ago. I think
Emerson
68, 69. Emerson Boozer. Yeah, it's a long time ago. But it's a whole avodah, and people. I didn't even. There was somebody who wanted to make shiurim. I should get together with these other rabbis to do a shiur to try to keep people away from the Super Bowl, and I felt it's such a. I understand it's always good to give shiurim, but I just felt it's embarrassing to make a Super Bowl shiur and all things. Babies. so go to enjoy watching the games. Watch the game. Go learn Torah. I don't know what. Hashem l'chuachrim l'bayil. Figure your life out. What's important in your priorities, but it would make the decision easier if fire came down in the Shemayim, right? So if you set up your. I just found this out. I was just by my mother, and my brother told me that Rabbi Brown Logos was talking this morning about Chukas Akum and Ashayla. There's some minute to eat chicken wings at the Super Bowl. I never heard that. So my brother told me that this morning about the shiur. Rabbi Brown was talking about whether or not whether you're allowed to eat chicken wings is the same din as turkey on Thanksgiving. I never knew there was a thing of chicken wings on the Super Bowl. I don't know when that started. But so what are you gonna do? You're gonna have your Gemara over here, and you have the chicken wings over there. And you set up to see, and the Aish comes down with a Shemayim and consumes what? And then you make your decision. Hashem Ulakim, Hashem Ulakim. We don't know masig what the taiva was for Avodah Zarah, for Baal at that time. We can't be masig. But this issue of figuring your life out and making a decision to what you're completely committed, where you give yourself over to. What is it in life that's most important? But your priorities are the choice is still what happened at Har Carmel. We're still standing at Har Carmel. It's not Baal, but we're standing at Har Carmel. And they said the fire came down. Hashem Elokim u'v'terem nigash aliyah lahakiv his karbano. So before Elinavi brought the carbon, now Masham says an interesting couple of words. He says vayipes is mizbeach Hashem aharis. That such an interesting lashon that Elionavi, the lashon of refuah, is that he cured the ruined mizbeach of Hashem. Refuah by a mizbeach. He says refuah. It was cured. He cured it. That the mizbeach of Hashem was ruined, and Elionavi cured it. V'yisal zeb Zohar Kodesh. So the Zohar Kodesh lets us in on this secret. What's this refuah of the Mizbeach? What does that mean? You could build a Mizbeach. You could be Mesakin a Mizbeach. But what does it mean to cure? To heal. He healed the broken, ruined Mizbeach. Now, Elionavi's place in Am Yisrael is very, very, very remarkable. And one of the inyanim of Elionavi, the strong inyanim, is Kedushas HaBris. Tikkun HaBris, and the Zohar Kodesh says, "This is Zohar Kodesh, Da Bris Kayom." That Elionavi brought a healing to the broken mizbeach of Bris Milah. That's what the Zohar says. Mitzvahs Milah. Han l'sheripa v'hekim al tila as midas hakedusha ba'am Yisrael. That the inyan of Elionavi and the underlying shorish of that whole showdown between Baal and Hashem, this choice between Baal and Hashem, depended on the midah of Kedusha, of Yosef HaTzadik. And that somehow, through what Elionavi said, through his personality, through the whole Maimid, whatever it was, that Elionavi reminded Am Yisrael who they are, agree a little bit about Shalosh Shudas yesterday. We were learning that the piece from the Rebbe Ibn Pshescha, who you are, and Ripe v'Hekim Tilas Midas HaKedusha V'Am Yisrael. And he brought this tshuva in Am Yisrael to begin to get back to work on healing this problem, this terrible breach that took place in Am Yisrael regarding Bris Milah. Now that's very, very odd, because the whole story there is about Avodah Zarah. It's not about, it doesn't say anything about Gilei Rayis, about Gam Habris, about anything like that. It's talking about Avodah Zarah. And that we were brought to a place where we had to make a decision. Do we want Hashem or do we want Baal? It doesn't sound like there was any in there of girls, of Arayis or something. Just, do you want Hashem, do you want Baal? That's the choice. It was a theological, some kind of a theological decision that had to be made. A religious decision that had to be made. It wasn't about Taivas and Arayis. It was a religious thing. And the Zohar Kodesh is Megala Desod. That's what the Zohar does. The Zohar Kodesh says that Elanavi was mechazik the Jews to work on Yosef HaTzadik, Kedushas HaBris. Elanavi comes to every Bris Milah. He has a vested interest that not only does the kid get the bris when he's 8, but we make sure that he keeps it in the proper way. Shmiras HaBris. Not only when he's a baby, but to continue on in his life and to be a Shomer HaBris. So the Zohar says that Elanavi came to him that day. There was his iris to do tshuva, this midah of kedusha, the midah of Yosef HaTzadik. That's the deeper meaning of the Zohar says of healing the broken mizbeach. And move on. My Indian midah kedusha lakan. So the tzaddik asks, what's the what's the midah of kedusha? This is about a religious decision. What do you believe in? Kilu, our boys, when they're in yeshiva, what they're struggling is believing in God or in Baal. That's not their struggle. Even though many, unfortunately, go away from keeping Shabbos and putting on film. Many of the kids go away from that, law lane. So you would think that they were making a decision. That they decide on Baal, chas v'shalom. In other words, that the boys had a choice. This 16-year-old has a choice between staying in yeshiva, keeping Shabbos, putting on film, going to shul, staying on the program. Between that and what? And the other theological choice of being a non-religious, non-believing, non-observing Jew. And it seems that many of these kids, are making the choice. Baruch Hashem, the majority make the choice for Hashem, Kim, but there are also chevra, beautiful chevra, that are making a choice, and they're going for Baal. They're choosing Baal. So it would seem that these kids have thought about the religion, and that they came to the conclusion that Baal is the way to go, not Hashem. So the Zohar is saying that's absolutely not what's happening. Right? What's the Zohar saying that's not what's happening? What choice are the boys making? They're not making a choice between God and Baal. They're making a choice between God, whatever understanding of God they have at the age of 16, and the girl. It's not between God and Baal. It looks like that. Just like it says by the Chet Egel, the Gemara says in Avodah Zarah that the reason that they went that they were going for the Egel was to give a Pischan Pella Gilei Arayis, because they wanted to get rid of Atar Eis Ladas and this whole Anochi Hashem Lokecha because of the girls. So it wasn't the Chet Egel was also not a religious decision. It wasn't that they were torn theologically between believing in Hashem and believing in a golden calf. And then a lot of the Chaver said, the golden calf, that's my way. I believe in the golden calf. I want to sign up. How do you worship this thing? How do you serve this thing? What do you got to do? What mitzvahs does he want us to do? This golden calf. That wasn't it. It was that on the other side of the golden calf, there were the raquettes. You understand? I don't know if you know what that is. Okay. There were girls on the other side of the golden calf. Which Chazal tell us, that's what the Gemara is saying, to give a pischon pelat l'gilai rayos, without being guilty, without feeling guilty. Because if I get rid of God, and this golden calf doesn't seem to mind the girls, so if I get rid of God and I go with the golden calf, then if the Baal is it, if that's it, then I could have a post Super Bowl party also. Not just to watch the Super Bowl, we could have fun after the Super Bowl. So that's what the Zohar is saying. The Zohar always goes to the Mzach, to the Pnimis. That's what the Zohar does. So he's explaining. The next page, I base. Who is what is about? What Eliyahu should have done that day was to give a shiur on the Yud Gimli Kari Emunah, or to give a good shiur on proving or proofs of God's existence. Eliyahu should have taken out a blackboard. Now they don't use blackboards. I forgot what they call it. Smartboard. Should have taken out a smartboard and with a pointer, and should have shown all kinds of amazing things in the Torah and different things and historical proofs that Hashem will look in. And he could have said, "Listen, Chav, your elders said he can't have been trying. Let's talk about that." There's the Makis and Kriyas Yamsuf. So Eliyahu should have given a shiur on Emunah. Emunah 001. Because since the Chaver were going after Avodah Zarah, Eliyahu should have given a gewaldige shiur on Emunah, on belief, and proving God's existence. And Eliyahu could have said, I talk to him all the time. And that should have been the shiur of that day. Emunah. He should have spoken about Emunah. But that's not what the shiur was about. The shiur was on the inyan of Yosef HaTzadik. It was Chaburas Yosef HaTzadik by Eliyahu. Imagine, can't be massive what that was. Just to see Eliyahu. It was on Kedusha. It was Eliyahu coming to the Bris Milah and saying, listen, I was by each one of you a bris, You're really, really messing up. This is not about Emunah. Just like with our kids, it's not about Emunah. They all believe in God. That's not about it. It's not it. All of these kids believe in Hashem. All these kids that are off the derech, Chalila, they all believe in God. Either somebody did something to them, Hashem Yerachem, oftentimes in that inyan of Pagam HaBris, or they did something to themselves. With the girls, it's a different inyan. But with the boys, Eliyahu doesn't talk about religion at all. It's an interesting thing. That's what those are saying. He doesn't talk about religion. It seems that they're having a religious dilemma because they can't decide, should I be an Oved Hashem or should I be an Oved Baal? So you would think that Eliyahu would say, what are you kidding? There's some animals to worship statues. That's what you don't remember? You don't remember Kriyas Yamsuf? Maimed Har Sinai? What's the matter with you? Let's review. And Eliyahu should have given handouts, photostats, and they should have learned together different places of Chumash and to talk about Emunah. To learn a Rambam, to learn a Kuzari, to learn a little Maharal, Sfas Emes, HaTzadik, Rav Kook. Oh. It's not, Eliyahu doesn't go to the inyan of religion at all. The choice is not between God and Baal. That's not the choice. She says, Yitzvah Avodah Zarah. They were struggling with the Yetzer for Avodah Zarah. Like you would think that these kids, and many of their teachers think that they're struggling with Emunah. They're not struggling with Emunah. It's not a Yitzvah Avodah Zarah. Yeah, the kid would like to use his phone on Shabbos. If there would be a kedusha in his life, that would be silly. The Indian is not being mechal Shabbos with the kids. That's not their Indian. Elio Haven is shurish hadavar. That's what the Zohar is telling us. That Elionavi understood the shurish hadavar, the root. How did this happen in Am Yisrael? Shekol ha'am noyei achrei Baal. That the whole Jewish people are going after Baal. How did such a thing happen? There's a time of the Beis Hamikdash. The Kahan Bavadasa. Ve'esh min hashamayim shechenes bebeis hamikdash. Go to Yushalayim. Go to Beis Hamikdash. It's a fire of the Shechina. V'chol ha'asar nisum sheish, but the first Beis Hamikdash, all the 10 miracles that were by the Beis Hamikdash. Ve'ech zeh sha'achav masliach lischayf achav es kol ha'am l'avodah zarah. How is it possible that this one king that wasn't from whatever? How is it possible that this achav got everybody together, took him out, and Baal avodah zarah, and Baal was the most disgusting avodah zarah, the lowest avodah zarah. Stam. I'm not talking about, you understand, Jews for Jesus. You understand, the lowest, most disgusting thing. It says in Navi that there were only 7,000 men who were not left in Am Yisrael. Mistama, there were millions. Only 7,000 men who did not bow down to Baal. V'heven Elio ki yisoid ha'devarim v'pnei shemizbeach Hashem dabris kayama. Because Elio knew that the mizbeach, the bris, the covenant between the Jew and Hashem, the mizbeach. What's the mizbeach? The mizbeach is that which binds together heaven and earth. That which holds a Jew together with Hashem. Is the bris kayama, is the bris milah, is kedushas habris. And the bris kayama horus, and the Elio understood it was ruined. The mizbeach that connects a Jew with God, the midah of Yesod, was in ruins, was a churban. Kashamida zu nehersa mispashetas krius bakol. And when a Jew is missing that, when the mizbeach of kedushas habris in his life has been ruined, then the coldness spreads to everything in his life. There's a coldness in his Shabbos, there's a coldness in his davening, there's a coldness in even his marriage, there's a coldness in his life. Krius bakol. Yichom l'kaim es ha'torah v'eskol ha'mitzvos. So, it doesn't mean these Jews were still keeping Shabbos. It doesn't say they weren't keeping Shabbos. They were keeping Shabbos, and they also liked Baal. They were learning the daf, and they also had the Super Bowl with the wings and everything else. Not to say it's the same thing. I'm just using it as a little bit of a shtach. Not that any of you are going to go to this Irish guy. Wrong people to watch guys running around their gotchkas like that, killing each other. You could just watch a White House press conference. You need to watch the Super Bowl. So, Mr. Bashet, that's krius bakol. Yichol mekayim es ha'torah v'eskol ha'mitzvos. So, you know, if you saw that, it's a strange thing. Jews are keeping Shabbos, they're going to shul, they're doing stuff, and they're also hanging around by Baal. How could there be such a thing? So, l'chayr, it's a religious decision you have to make. But how could there be such a strange taruvas? How could there be such a strange taruvas? That you're an Orthodox Jew, you're supposed to be a person that the whole Inyan is avodas Hashem. You get all these funny other things going on called Baal. How could that be? You should be on fire with davening. Shabbos should be a fire of Shabbos. Learning should be a fire of learning. So how do you explain that this strange mixture of Elokim and Baal? And Eliyahu identifies the underlying shorish of all of this is not religious. Because you see, they like to have a shalom. They like to sing Zmirs. You can have people tonight, I don't know if it's tonight or later this afternoon, they're going to be howling by the Super Bowl. And yesterday they were singing Yom Zimachubit. They're screaming Yom Zimachubit. And now they're screaming, who's playing the game? I don't even know. It's not the Jets. That means they're no good. Who?
Eagles.
Eagles, Philadelphia Eagles.
And the Kansas City Chiefs.
Washington?
No, Kansas City. Kansas City Chiefs.
Kansas City Chiefs. Oh, they used to have a good.
Jay, how'd you know that?
Everybody knew it, and Jay's the only one that's here.
I heard about it.
Yeah.
We're so invited to the wing party.
With barbecue sauce.
Yeah. Everybody should enjoy it. I make chayzik of these things. I'm not just from I'm using it as a marshal because we need to understand our kids, and when you understand the kids in ourselves, we can understand our kids better. If you understand how we're such babies ourselves, we can understand why is it that our kids are struggling. Because of course the whole thing is nourish guy. It's about enjoying guys throwing around the ball. I like sports. That's not the point. But how do you explain this double life that Jews are living? A divided life. We understand if you walk over to the Amshon of Rebbe and you say, Rebbe, there's a game tonight. You know, and they're also having some good food, and the commercials are gewaldig. So you just go try selling that to Amshon of Rebbe. Because the Mizbeach by the Amshon of Rebbe is healthy. And the Mizbeach is an eish, min hashamayim, fire. But when your Yiddishkeit is a Yiddishkeit that's cold, so then you divide your time between Hashem and Baal. So you divide your life between Hashem and Baal. You learn Torah, and you also spend a couple hours watching stupid things on the computer. It's Hashem and Baal. The Amshon doesn't have such a problem. He's not divided between Hashem and Baal. When your life is broken, it's because the Mizbeach is horus. Again, there could be other issues, all kinds of stuff. But the shorish Elanovi is saying is the bris. I was there by your bris, and you're not shema bris, and because of that, there's a krius in your life. And this is not about God and Baal. You believe in Hashem. The problem is that your Yiddishkeit has descended into a frozen place because of the other stuff that's going on in your head during davening. And in your head, when you're walking on the street, and when you're in the office, and the things that you see by the commercial, by the Super Bowl. That's what it is. So therefore, the mitzvahs anoshim lumada, yeah, keeping the Jews at the time of Baal, the ones that they were also keeping Shabbos. They also sang Yom Zimachubit, but they didn't really sing Yom Zimachubit. Whatever the Zmirs they sang back then, but they also had a Shabbos. They also put on tzitzis and film. But what was missing in their lives, they were no longer seeing the beauty of Hashem. They were no longer in that place of Sosan Libi V'or Einai, that Yiddishkeit was not the light of their eyes, because their eyes had been damaged. Their eyes were damaged. And when the eyes are damaged, so then you don't see the beauty of Hashem. You don't see the beauty of Yiddishkeit. And your eyes are damaged. You don't taste how delicious Yiddishkeit is. If they were tasting the beauty of Yiddishkeit and they were looking, if their eyes were focused on the king, and they weren't distracted by all the other stuff, So then the Avodah Zarah would have no hashpah. It wasn't about Baal. But these boys that are going off the derech, they want to be conservative or Reform Jews. You ever met one like that? I decided that conservative Judaism is the right way. You ever met a kid like that? This kid went to Chassan Sofer in Borough Park, and now he's not from. He said, "What happened?" He said, "I looked into conservative Judaism, and I think that it makes a lot of sense." You met a kid like that? You met a lot of kids. Never spoken in life to a kid like that. They don't even know what conservative Judaism is. That's crazy. That's stupid. What do you mean? They drive on Shabbos. So you see, you also drive. No, I have. Because I got to get somewhere. I don't believe in that. There's no conservative or Reform Judaism by these kids. There's an emptiness. Empty. Look in their eyes. And Eli Navi came to fix that. Except it was easier for the Navi to fix it than for us. And it's not like we didn't have problems after Eli Navi. We had plenty of problems afterwards too. It wasn't like a permanent repair. But he says, if you taste the beauty of Yiddishkeit, if you're able to taste the beauty of Yiddishkeit because your eyes are focused on the beauty of the King, then they're not interested in Baal. They're interested in, do you believe, if you believe in Hashem, go after Hashem. If you believe in the Reform Rabbi, go after the Reform Rabbi. Or if you believe in Christianity, what are you asking these kids? What is it? Do you believe in Yashka? You want to go to church? Yeah, do you mind? But I'm living for the Tsar. And the same kid that's not keeping Shabbos, Chalila, and he's doing all kinds of errors, he'll tell you that you're not allowed to buy Avodah Zarah. I learned Masechta Avodah Zarah. And it's Beferish Rambam, and it's in your day. You're not allowed to be Avodah Zarah. They're not interested in going to church. It's not like Baal holds something over them. They're not seeing Hashem Elokim. Why aren't they seeing Hashem Elokim? Because the Mizbeach is broken. What's the Mizbeach? Kedusha. It's broken. And Yosef is the Midah of Yesod. And Yesod is the Mizbeach. El Yesod HaMizbeach. And that's what connects a Jew with the Kadosh Baruch Hu. Yesod and Malchus. That's what connects a Jew with the Kadosh Baruch Hu. Even though it's true, in those days there was a very strong Yitzhar for Avodah Zarah. But the shorish of all of that, just like by the Egel, was not religion. Even though there was a big taiva of Avodah Zarah. But if you're a person that's living in the world of Kitayv Hashem, Ta'am Uri Kitayv Hashem, and Melech, you see the king, so then you're not interested in the other stuff. However, since the altar, the Mizbeach of Hashem was ruined, Ivdu Tamru Kitayv Hashem, they lost their taste for Yiddishkeit. They lost the fire, the excitement. They're going by Baal because Baal allows such things. Not only does Baal allow, but the whole Avodah Zarah, Baal was that was the Avodah Zarah, was all these terrible things, disgusting things. So how's it going to help if you bring down the fire from Shemayim to prove that? How does it help to bring down the fire from Shemayim? They go to Yerushalayim. There was an Eish Min Shemayim coming down the first Beis HaMikdash. There were 10 Nisim that were taking place in the Beis HaMikdash all the time. But Akidekach, can a Jew be frozen that he's not impressed by miracles? That miracles don't change him because he lost his whole chesh, he lost his whole time. It's not about the fire to prove. Eli Navi had to fix something. It wasn't about bringing down a fire from Shemayim. It's not about impressing them. They could go to Yerushalayim, they could see fires. It's not about that. We watch miracles all the time. It's not about that. That's not what heals a person. The miracle that we see by Kriyas Yamsuf says that they were complaining about getting their shoes dirty when they were crossing. That's not what. When a person is sick, he has to be healed. And the sickness is what Eli Navi is identifying. You want to have fireworks? You can go to Beis HaMikdash. There are fireworks every day. You want to see all kinds of miracles and fancy things and special effects and God saying, Anochi Hashem Elokecha, go to Beis HaMikdash. You could see everything, all kinds of good things. It wasn't so far. You could see all kinds of good things. And all those people had been to Beis HaMikdash. It wasn't like they never went to Beis HaMikdash. So what are they going with Baal? What do you have with Baal? They saw Eish Min HaShamayim. They saw the miracles in Beis HaMikdash. They saw Nevi'im. There were Nevi'im all over the place. Masi, what it means to a Navi? To see this guy's cousin, this guy's brother-in-law is a Navi. They had Nevu all over the place. So what do they have with Baal? The same way at Har Sinai, Hashem didn't open up the heavens, we didn't see. There wasn't fire. It was all over the place. This Parshas Yisro. Wasn't Eish Min HaShamayim? It wasn't all fire and thunder and lightning. So what are you hacking with an Egel Azar? The terrace is the girls. That's what it was. Piskum Gilarayas. Curious ha'esh greda. Im eini mahagosha salev shel tamuru. Because just seeing miracles, just seeing the fire, without tasting of Hashem, ein lakol hashpar la'adam. Doesn't change you. Doesn't have hashpar. K'mayim Chazal. Yoidim Rishoyim shedarcha b'misa. The Rishoyim know. The Rishoyim believe in Gehenna. B'chol zeh saying the Rishoyim. Even though they believe in Gehenna, they believe in the punishment. They believe this is an Aveira. The Rishoyim, they stay with Baal. Well, they do a little bit Yiddishkeit, a little bit of Baal, but they stay in the Rishis. V'klum Yeravim ben Nevat lo'ira sheyav sheyadoka sheharima neged hanavi. And Yeravim ben Nevat didn't see himself a miracle that his hand became dried up. But they didn't see miracles, these people. B'cholzos Omed B'Rishon, he stayed in Russia. That's why all the nice stories that they're always trying to bring the kids around with Hashgacha Pratis, like the one that example I was giving about, because I remember once seeing in the newspaper many years ago in a film newspaper how the kid fell out from the window of the second floor and he went through the schach and he landed on his grandfather's bed. And it was a nace that he was saved. We all know that most of the kids that fall out the window, they just splatter on the sidewalk. They don't end up in Zadie's bed in the sukkah. So, but then they try to tell these stories, and that's going to make our kids stay from. These stories are going to make the kids stay from. If you would only show the children the beauty of HaKadosh Baruch Hu, they would see the beauty of Yiddishkeit, they would be attracted. And they tamu ki toiv Hashem. Tamu ki toiv Hashem. Well, the stories are not going to work. These stories don't work. Maybe it impresses somebody. You see that people see Eish Min HaShamayim, fire coming down from Shamayim. They're still running after Baal. So, you can tell me some story about Hashgacha Pratis, you wouldn't believe it. And how do you know this is true? In all these stories, I'm that person. You know how the stories end? I'm that person that saw that Uncle Sal got off of the wrong exit, and there was a whole accident. There was a 10-car pileup, and Uncle Sal got off of the exit before. And how I know? I was in the car with Uncle Sal. So I know the truth of God because Uncle Sal got out before the accident. All right. I believe in Hashgacha Pratis like the Baal Shem HaKadosh taught, that every leaf turns over. I believe in every single cell of this Hashgacha Pratis. But if we think that that's how we're going to convince our kids to stay on the program, we're making a huge mistake. We're making a huge mistake. That's just not what does it. They believe in Hashgacha Pratis. That's not their problem. Kibli Hagoshes Halev, but if the heart is frozen, cold, because of the other stuff, because the Mizbeach being ruined, and not giving them a Yiddishkeit, that where they see the beauty of the king, where they see the beauty of Yiddishkeit in all of its depth. Show them all these miracles, all kinds of good stories on Hashgacha Pratis, and everything it's amazing how this happened, and they blew up the pages, and everything was gewaldic, and everybody lived happily ever after. Because the problem is not theological. You're addressing something that's not the problem. They don't have a problem with God's existence. They don't have a problem with Hashgacha Pratis. The problem is that they're feeling alone and empty. And they feel an emptiness in the Yiddishkeit that was given to them. And they feel excited by the other things that are being offered to them in the world of Baal. They're feeling excited. There's some excitement there. I don't see excitement over here. I see excitement over there. That's where it's happening. The same thing was going on by Lenavi. It's happened. And the same thing by Har Sinai. It's the same thing now. Therefore, Lenavi understood. It's not about fire. I could do all kinds of special effects. Lenavi could do fancy things. That's not the thing. We got to work on, he was saying, Chevra, we got to work on bris milah. I was there when you had your bris. And ever since you grew up, it's not going well. Let's talk about that. Let's work on Kedushas HaBris. Let's talk about Kedusha. Shiachzu l'kayim kadesh atzmcha b'mutalach. V'oz kvartucha li'hikanes b'libam hashpa'as ha'esh min ha'shamayim. And when you fix the broken mizbeach, then the fire is from Shemayim is gewaltig. Then all the stories of Hashgacha Pratis are unbelievably exciting and inspiring, because every single thing is a reminder of Hashem. I'm not against those stories, but if you're not interested in that stuff, if that's not the problem, that doesn't change you. What does it do for you? If you're in a place where the Mizbeach is healthy and it's healed, then you see Hashgachas Hashem. You don't have to show some amazing thing, some crazy. You see, a person sees Hashem Mizbeach in everything in his life. Just another 5 minutes. So was the time of the Greeks. We see they were smart. They thought what? They put on the Keren Shor and chelik b'lekei Yisrael. Shor is Yosef HaTzadik. And chelik b'lekei Yisrael. Take away the taste for Yiddishkeit. With what? With the tumah. Shemizbeach Hashem. Dar bris kayam maharos. That's the whole idea of Chanukah is Chanukas HaMizbeach. To fix the Mizbeach. That's what Chanukah was. Fixing the defiled, broken Mizbeach. That's what Chanukah was. They weren't out to kill the Jewish people. It was not genocide. They were breaking the Mizbeach and defiling all the Shemen and everything. They were making the Mizbeach, the Beis HaMikdash, dirty. That's what it was. The Mizbeach, which is the bris between HaKadosh Baruch Hu, which is the bris milah. Reishis davar hayitzarach levakas beach Hashemars is a hayin Chanukah Mizbeach. L'chayim mechadish is midas hakedush b'ami. So that's why Chanukah was the fight. The victory over Yovan is Chanukah Mizbeach. Sh'dekach kvar ein li Yevanim kol shlita alem. Because once we fix the Mizbeach, which is bris milah, then the Yevanim have nothing over us. They can't win. There's a hoysa avodas lachashmanayim. Shekibu benafshe k'mayim meran beis Avram, the beis Avram from Slanim lahadlik ner Chanukah. Shemitzvus ner Chanukah hadloka lahadlik ba'atzma eish kodesh. That you are the candle, and lahadlik ner Chanukah means to light yourself on fire. It's not about fire someplace else. You're yourself on fire. Lahadlik ba'atzma eish kodesh ki midas hakedusha himen advarim shaloi nita lahasikin kim al yidei eish kodesh. B'midah zu tzarich adam lios gibor hanevek im sar eish to fight against the tumah of Gam Habris. Kamei al Yaakov Avinu, who was perfect in this avodah of Kedushas HaBris. V'zayis yochel rak mishav by atzmo ba'eres eish kodesh. He's putting a lot of advertisements for the shul in this time. Chediyisa b'medrash shekasha nilchem Yaakov im sar eish shel Esav omlo be'eish atami areini ani kuli eish. Yaakov Avinu said, "You're trying to scare me," but he said to the sar of Esav, which is a fire. He said, "You think you're going to scare me with fire?" Yaakov says, "Ani kuli, I'm completely fired. You think your fire is going to scare me? I'm fired." That's how there's an expression: fighting fire with fire. I'm completely fired. The only way to fight against fire is with fire. Ani kuli eish. Yaakov Avinu says, "I'm completely fired. I'm not afraid of a sar shel eish." Some advertisement, some pretty girl, Eish, fire of Taivas. I'm kuli Eish. I'm completely a fire of Amunah, a fire of Yiddishkeit. Fire base Yaakov Eish, it says in Pasuk. Because Malikim Eish Kedusha, Marapim Mizbeach Hashem, Dor Bris Kayama, as Kvar Eish Kelim look like this Eish from Shemayim. Now you could already be Kaili, you could already receive all the Eish from Shemayim. V'shuv me'irim b'adam kol Eiris HaKedusha, Amunah, Shabbos, Sukkahs, learning, everything's on fire, or. Sos and libi var einai, the eyes are healed, the eyes are seeing good things. Be'emes liyochid kol shemoed lagia la'eish hazois v'agdor chavrusa nitam litzo avir shel eish. And the Rebbe is saying, this is one of the big yesodis of the Baal Shem HaKadosh, was that an individual person can't do this. You can't do this by yourself. You have to have a chevra. You have to have a chevra of people like yourself that want this. A chevra of guys that are working on this. Nita litza avir shel eish, because you need to generate an avira of eish. You can't just be yourself. You're trying. It's very hard. The world is crazy. But when you have a chevra, then you can make an avira shel eish, a fiery avira. Lahadik nechanik, lahadik batzim was sa'aras eish kraydish. Yehudi shul naki v'tor means kedusha. Let's just finish. A Jew who is working on this to be clean and to be pure in this midah of Yosef HaTzadik, not only is he able to receive the eish from Shemayim and from above Makam, above Mitzim, above Abasa, and from Shabbos. Not only that, it's a powerful fire. He feels the aura of Shabbos, the aura of Amunah. His learning is not just learning, it's learning of fire. His Shabbos is a Shabbos fire. Everything is eish. Shabbos mislayiv libad kidei lo uchal she'eis. You can't hold such a fire. Kedum etzadikim chassidei kamar. Shabbos yesh kol minei dargis. Yesh Shabbos shashpos rak l'yom Shabbos. V'yomesach haloynadi kibala kivena. There are people that they have a nice Shabbos, but after Shabbos it's like you don't even know. You get swallowed up by the bad cows. The whole Shabbos that you had yesterday is very kilo. There was no Shabbos. Ach mishim eskadis. But a person who has a fire, a Shabbos that's fire, zorch l'Shabbos is acheres. It takes him until the week. Shabbos is a kol shisa yom and minay mizbarach. The whole 6 days of the week are benched by that Shabbos that was a fire. Chamaim ran bal devei shmul from Slonim. Al pasav yisapik ve'em esimu lechem kashi yudim yisapik ve'em mamali tavoso. When a person holds back his taivas, oz yiredis lahashpor b'chol toiv neftachim le'shari oyer v'libo mismali rigshei kodesh v'shtoikikus l'kedush. He's filled with the shtoikus for everything that's holy. Then he's able to feel the eish min hashamayim. He's able to feel that the sukkah is min hashamayim. And eish min hashamayim. He's able to feel everything in his life is eish min hashamayim. But if his heart is frozen cold, it's frozen, and he has no interest in anything because of what's happening to him, and he doesn't see any of that fire, he can't feel anything. Zah shal Hashem tzadikim shomer hayisod tzadikim zah shal Hashem tzadikim yavo uvo. Tzadik means someone that shomer habris. Zah shal Hashem. There are many ways to get into Hashem. Shabbos, learning, davening, tefillin, all of those are gates to Hashem. But Zah Shal Hashem Tzadikim. But the Tzadikim means Shmiras HaBris. Yosef HaTzadik. Tzadikim Yavo. Otherwise the gates are closed. Not because Hashem ever closes a gate. Hashem doesn't close any gates. Hashem wants us. We're always invited to Hashem's party. We're always invited into Hashem's party. So how come the gate's not closed? You feel that it's closed. Why do you feel that it's closed? Because you're not being a tzaddik. Tzadikim yavo. Zah shal Hashem. Everything is a shal Hashem. Everything in life is a shal Hashem. But the tzaddik feels that. He sees that. Tzaddik sees it's a shal Hashem. Zah shal Hashem. The tzaddik sees that. Other people that are not working in this world of kedusha, it looks like it's closed, it's shut, it's gated, and it's done. You can't get in. Can't get into Shabbos. Can't get into learning. Can't get in. I'm not into it because every gate is closed. Tzadikim yavo. Tzaddik means shmiras habris. By the tzaddik, the gates are open. The gates are always open, but to the tzaddik sees that they're open. But a person who's not working on this Indian the tzaddik, it looks to him, kilo, the gates are closed. They don't want him. It's not for him. The whole avoid of Yosef HaTzadik is to be able to see with our eyes that the gates are wide open, and Hashem is calling for each and every one of us to go in. We should be zakeh with tzaddikim to go into the gates.